Alrighty then, I'm quite thirsty. Think it's time to do another cider review. Which one should I go for then? Oh no. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Cider Drinker. If you hadn't guessed already by the intro, today's cider is Scrumpy Jack. And the reason I'm not looking forward to this one is because I've had very bad experiences with this one in the past. I won't go into too much detail into it, but let's just say it wasn't very pretty. However, that was very many years ago, so who knows, my tastes might have changed. So I'm going to go and give Scrumpy Jack a second go and just see if my tastes really have changed for the better. But before I do that, as with all the other ciders I have done on this, let me just give you some details on Scrumpy Jack, shall we? Scrumpy Jack comes in 500ml cans, which you can get in packs of 4s. You can also get it on tap in certain pubs, and I do believe you can also get it in 2-litre plastic bottles too. The alcohol percentage is 6% in volume. It doesn't say anywhere on the can if it's a dry or a sweet cider, so I'm sure I'm going to find out. And the price does vary quite a lot with this. I mean, I managed to pick up this individual can for £1.10, but I'm pretty sure you can get it for cheaper. You can also get it for a lot more expensive too, so if you want to go and get Scrumpy Jack, then you're going to have to do a little bit of shopping around. Yes, well, Scrumpy Jack, what can I say? It's actually kind of interesting to know that it's made by the Simmons Cider Company, which also did the Founders Reserve, which I did quite a few reviews back, and that was probably one of the nicest of the shelf ciders that I've actually tried. It was gorgeous, so who knows, maybe this one will be as good now, who knows. Let's just see, writing, premium cider. Well, that is not usually a good sign. Usually cans that say they're of a premium quality most likely are not. But, like I say, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Scrumpy Jack is crafted using locally grown English cider apples, such as Davenport and Chisel Jersey, plus with like imported apple juice or something, producing a superior tasting crisp cider with a rich fruity aroma and contains sulfites for freshness. Oh well, that's not out of the ordinary there. As with most other canned ciders, it's trying to give off the impression that it's a really really nice tasting cider just from looking at the can, because to be honest, the front picture is not too bad, really. It's going for the whole fields and orchard and silhouette of the apples kind of thing that some of the other ones do, but overall, the can really does its job well. I do like the fact the barcode's got the silhouette of an apple press around it. That's quite a nice touch. But, like they say, it is all about the taste, so let me just get this can open. God, it's been a fair few years since I've done this for Scrumpy Jack. Okay, please be good, please be good. Let's go for a smell. Alright, the smell is actually not too bad. It's nothing special, but it definitely hasn't knocked me for 6, so that's one good thing. It's actually got kind of a slightly pleasant undertone of apples coming off of it, so that's all good. Well, my hopes have kind of rekindled a little bit, so we'll just see what it tastes like when I pour it out into the glass. Basically, going back all those years, I was quite naive in my tastes. Needless to say, Scrumpy Jack was not one of my favourites. In fact, I only took 2 sips and left the entire, the rest of the glass. That's how much I didn't like it. So, here we go. Pretty standard really. Nothing out of the ordinary there. It's got a slight head on it, from the looks of it. And the bubbles, plenty. But, slightly big. So, slightly bigger than normal. But overall, just looks pretty much like a generic cider colour and everything. So, let's smell in the glass. That actually does smell. That does smell rather nice. It's got the apple aromas coming off of it. Almost kind of like got a medium dry smell, I'd say. So probably a typical type of cider here. But like I say, and I have said before, it is all about the taste. So here we go. After about 7 or 8 years, it's time to try Scrumpy Jack once again. It's not as bad as I remember it. It is definitely not as bad as I remember it being. Obviously my tastes just hadn't developed then, but well, yeah, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. The initial taste is it's kind of like got that medium dry sort of taste to it, but the apples kind of taste a bit almost like they've been crisped a little bit. It's got a very, very slight smoky undertone to it, but it's obviously not been matured in oak vats because it's got nothing of that sort of calibre to it. Aftertaste, it is kind of like... Yeah, it is kind of like a very, very slight woody aftertaste to it, but it's very, very faint. Overall, there's really not much, not much aftertaste to it. It's left my mouth feeling a little dry, so, it's probably leaning more onto the side of a dry cider rather than it being a sweet. But, like I say, it is probably a medium dry cider because it's either the sugars that they've added in or it's sweeteners or something, but, yeah, it's got a slight hint of sweetness to it. Overall, that is nowhere near as bad as I remember it being. And my God, I'm relieved. I was not looking forward to doing this one for you guys, I'll tell you that. But no, that's actually not too bad. That is not too bad. But I will give it its due as well. It tastes very crisp. Like I say, it is quite dry. I wouldn't say it's rich and fruit. It's got a rich fruity aroma to it. It's pretty much just got a generic sort of smell to it, I'd say. You can definitely tell that they have added either sweeteners or sugars to it, because it leaves that sort of like kind of a gummy sort of texture at the back of your throat, which some ciders do, and that's kind of an indication when you know that they've kind of added something a little bit artificial to this can. I mean, obviously, I wasn't expecting it to be like a real cider or anything, and because it is pretty much, well, classed as like a cheapie, even though it's not really cheap. I mean, like I say, this single can cost me £1.10. God, I don't know, blooming rip-offs, but there we go. Like I say, you can get it for a lot more expensive too. So, if you do like to indulge in a Scrumpy Jack, you really do need to do your shopping about. I mean, I have seen cans going for as cheap as 99p, so that just shows you how varied it can be. Right, one more taste before the final verdict. Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised with that. Scrumpy Jack is nowhere near as bad as I remember it being. Phew! Oh, all that rigmarole over nothing, eh? But yeah, overall, it is actually quite a pleasantly tasting cider. It has got that dryness to it, which you know, some of it do. It's obviously, like I say, they've used Devonate and Chisel Jersey apples to them, so it's obviously got that very unique sort of taste to it. But yeah, overall, I think that's what did it for me. It was the initial taste of it, and it obviously didn't hit my taste buds right when I was younger. But there we go. Tastes can change, and thankfully this one is definitely for the better. So I am going to go and give Scrumpy Jack a 7 out of 10. Yes, 7 out of 10, you know, for a canned cider is pretty damn good, because most of these cheapies, you know, they barely scrape 6 out of 10, but Scrumpy Jack, it's definitely a better tasting one than some of the other cheap canned ciders out there. And, you know, because it's from the Simmons Cider Company, my hopes did kind of rekindle a little bit when I saw that. I totally forgot it was made by the Simmons Cider Company, but yeah, this is definitely a very nice tasting cider. And so, you know, if you are going to go for a, you know, it's almost like a higher end canned cider, because you've got your Strongbows and your Blackthorns on one side, and then you've got like your you know, like your Scrumpy Jacks, and I think like K. I mean, K is just like, whoa, you know, super strong, you know, want to get blitzed. And actually I will be doing that at some point too, but that's for another review. But for now, that was another quickie review for you guys. I hope you liked it. Thankfully I did. So yeah, Scrumpy Jack, don't be put off by it, because I initially was, but seriously, give it a little go. If you do like your dry, woody kind of ciders, then it's going to be right up your alley, definitely. But until next time, I will be back with another delicious and tasty cider for you guys. And thankfully, I'm not going to have to pour this one down the sink, because it is actually rather pleasant. So, until next time guys, take care. See you later.